desktop publishing,
Mm-hmm.
real estate, and construction. And since April of 1999, you've been the team director here at the Boys and Girls Club of Hendersonville.
Yes, God.
Now, what made you make that transition? What made you want to work at the Boys and Girls Club?
I came to a point in my life where I wanted to do something different, and that money wasn't the main object. And I'd always wanted to work with kids, always been able to have a good rapport. I've always been told that I'm a kid at heart anyway. So I figured that might be something to look into. And my original thought was to work at a camp, because I really enjoy the camp environment. But my father had actually mentioned that he had worked with a Boys and Girls Club down in Hobe Sound, Florida, where he's from, and said that they knew of somebody that used to work with that director that had a club here in Hendersonville, and suggested I go talk to him. So I came down in, let's see, March, and talked to Leon Hill, who was the director, executive director at that time, and got a second interview, and all downhill from there.
What do you think's your favorite part of the job?
The never-ending challenge. I think that's what keeps me here. I'm the type of person that likes to take things to the next level, likes to see something, like to fix it. And I think if this job got to a point where I felt that everything was fixed and taken care of, I probably would move on and find something else to do. But with this type of work, your work's never done. There's always more you can do. So I think that's what keeps me inspired to move forward with it. I also have a personal passion and vision of helping solve the education challenges in our world today, and feel like through the government or through the education system it would be very cumbersome and hard for me to make an impact. Mm-hmm. But being part of a grassroots movement or a nonprofit organization allows me the flexibility to implement some of my more creative thinking and ideas on how to work with teens and what they might need. I myself was a restless student. I had a hard time focusing and concentrating in classes, and really feel strongly about we need to change, especially for the boys, the way that they learn, to be more active and to challenge them physically and mentally at the same time. And I really feel this organization here has that similar desire.
Are there any examples that you take from your father that you kind of translate?
Absolutely. I think my upbringing, I had 5 siblings. I'm the second to youngest of 6 kids. My father was always a very hard worker, a very strong work ethic. Anything you do today, you could do better tomorrow is one of his mottos. So yeah, I think I bring that to the teens, that if you work hard and treat people right and have respect and manners, that you will be successful, and that a lot of life is about people, and if you learn to work with people well, then you'll be successful. And my father taught me that. He was always worked hard and always was very responsible and respectful to everybody we always came in contact with. And my mother was the same way, very polite person, almost to a point of just very much a caretaker and wanting to help and make sure everything's okay. And so I guess I have a little bit of both. My mom, I always thought, was more the compassion and the love, and my dad was more the hard work and sacrifice and commitment. And I think you need a balance of that. I think my father, to a point, was a workaholic and wasn't there a lot for us as kids, but he was working hard to provide for us. And a lot of fathers and parents in this day and age have to work very hard to make ends meet, and they're not always there for their kids. And that's one thing that I want to try to make sure I'm there for my kids also. And I think my work here is the best thing I can teach them. If I being here and doing something to help the community and help the world. That's some of the best things I can teach them. I try to include them in some of our events and have them come down and see what we do here, and lets them have a feeling of compassion and concern for other people, not just their own lives. And I think that's important to instill in people, especially kids. They're our future. They really are. And